And for those of you that joined late and are wondering why I'm not wearing my usual suit, we had a roof leak that leaked into our closet. It's a whole thing. But we're here in the now and present, and we're going to have a good time. So, without further ado, we will now officially begin the Clean Comedy Contest finale for the month of July 2025. So as you're watching this and voting on your favorites, a few things to keep in mind here, because my wife and I watch all the submissions and then pick the top 3 for you to decide who wins. And we watch these sets through 3 criteria specifically. 1, how on theme is the set? So the month of July, this month, the theme was freedom. So comics were challenged to write a new 60-second set based on the theme of freedom. So as you're watching these sets, how on theme is the set? How unique is this set to this comic? You know, a big part of comedy writing is finding your comedic voice and your comedic point of view. So how unique is this set? What is the comedic point of view this comic is getting across? We always like to encourage comics to write material only they can do, only they can write in their voice. So we like to review the sets based on that criteria as well. How unique is this set to this comic? And thirdly, how funny is it? How many laughs are in this tight 60-second set? Just how many punchlines did they pack into this? So vote based on how on theme is the set, how on theme is the set, how unique is this set to this comic, and also how funny is it? How many punchlines are in this set? So we're going to play Sandy's set, and then Chris's set, and then Ed's set, and then we will do our live voting. So thank you all for hanging out with us today. Thank you, Kim, trying twins. No, thank you. But if anyone's looking for an extra kid, you know, we could work out some sort of deal. I'm kidding. I can't believe I even said that. Okay, so let's get into it, my friends. We're going to play the first contestant set, which is Sandy Bernstein. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, officially welcome for the second time. Officially welcome to the contest. And here's your first contestant.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Sandy Bernstein.
Psychologist Jordan Peterson said, marriage is freedom. The first time I got a ring, it was the opposite of freedom. Let freedom ring? I should have let it go to voicemail.
I'm sorry. I already boofed up. Joel already boofed up. I'm sorry. We're going to restart our set. There it is. Okay. There we go. We're doing great. Everything's totally fine. Everything's totally fine. Great. All right, here we go. Let's try it again. Sandy Bernstein.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Your first contestant, Sandy Bernstein.
Psychologist Jordan Peterson said, marriage is freedom. The first time I got a ring, it was the opposite of freedom. Let freedom ring? I should have let it go to voicemail. But being married a second time is actually liberating. I really do have the freedom to have and to hold. Onto more of my own money. Dating's expensive. Makeup, dresses, deodorant. Now I can look forward to splitting bills, not splitting headaches. Marriage is freedom from predictability. When I was single, I knew who was going to clean up the hairballs, do the dishes, train the cat to order DoorDash, and tip. Now that I'm married, there's a 50% chance it won't be me. Okay, 30%. And there's freedom from the dreaded dating apps. Now, if I want plenty of fish, I'll go to Long John Silver's. And get this, I still have the freedom to take my clothes off for other men, mostly doctors. They don't even have to ask, which is weird for my optometrist.
Yes! There we go. There we go. Your first contestant officially, my friends, Sandy Bernstein. Starting off strong here with that set now. The bar is very high this month. There are a lot of great submissions, but these were the top 3 that made it to the finals. And it is up to you to vote. So keep in mind Sandy's set, as we're going to watch 2 more, but making sure that your voting reflects your favorite and funniest set. But definitely good one out the gate. Great unique use of the theme of freedom as well. That was super personal. Oh, and Ed said he loved the should let it go to voicemail and the optometrist joke. Chewy's applause for Sandy. Dan, funny Sandy. Joan, really great Sandy. Loved the last joke. Yeah, a lot of great misdirects in there. A lot of punches packed in there. Lots of good, really just good on-theme jokes to really start this off. The bar is pretty high this month, I gotta say. So keep Sandy's set in mind. Keep it in your hearts as I play the last 2. But you will be voting live. You right there. You'll be voting live. I'm going to put a poll in the live chat for people to decide who wins. Oh, and Sandy thanked everyone for the love. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you everyone for watching as we have arrived to our second finalist. Where'd they go? Where did they go? There we go. Oh, Zach said go Sandy. That's so sweet. Thank you, Zach. Well, we're now going to play our second contestant, my friends, who is going to be Chris Beasley. So, your second contestant, my friends.
Let's get ready to rumble!
I present to you Chris Beasley.
I just bought a house in Texas, and what I thought was a white neighborhood turns out New Delhi. I mean, I wanted land of the free. I got home of the Brahmin. Every toilet in our house has a bidet, but that makes me feel liberated. It was crazy. I thought I was going to have to deal with redlining and with discrimination. Turns out, hardest part, having a white realtor that's an ally. I mean, she told me the picket fence doesn't have to be white. I'm like, what? She brought up slavery every chance she could. I wanted to see the master bedroom. She goes, oh, we don't say that anymore. It's massa. I'm like, that is worse. I don't get it. You think the name of the room is going to make me feel less free? I'm married. I thought liberals wanted whips in the bedroom. I mean, me and my wife could use more bondage. I'm so square, I haven't seen a round hole in months. Honestly, the neighbors could show us around the Kama Sutra. We're going to need a safe word like emancipation. But in Texas, you don't have to stop till they say Juneteenth.
Yeah. Keep it going. Chris Beasley, my friends. Keep it going for Chris Beasley. Out here. Fresh off a move. Congrats, Chris. Very cool. Oh, nice. Sandy like the Juneteenth and Ally Realtor. Yeah, that feels like a sketch, doesn't it? That feels like an Ally Realtor could be a whole sketch with like Massa bedroom and others. Could be funny. Oh, 11 the Alien. Happy you made it. Zach Newford like the picket fence and master bedroom. Feels weird to even say Massa bedroom. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Dan Conroy said a moving set. That is... Yeah, that's a winner there. Well done. A moving set. Because it was about moving? Did y'all pick up on that part? Great. Yay! Awesome. Well, you've seen Sandy. You've seen Chris. Oh, and look, Kirsten says, go Sandy. Very nice. Yes, we will be doing the live voting after we play your final contestant, Mr. Ed Rubin, who Ed said also to Chris, great job, love the Ally Realtor and color of the picket fence. And Joan said, great jokes, Chris. So yeah, 2 great sets, and we have one more for you to choose from before we do the live voting. So my friends, my comedy fam, Purcell, prepare yourselves for your final contestant, Mr. Ed Rubin.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Your final contestant, Mr. Ed Rubin.
I've found that one of the best ways to increase your freedom is to turn off apps like Find Friends, Alexa, and Siri. I mean, sure, I wish I found it as easy to turn off Alexa and Siri as I do real women. I mean, talk about unconditional love. Alexa and Siri just require a charged phone, not a charged card. Yeah, I know that was sexist, sorry. Sure, folks say they want to be free, but then they do things. They get married, they have a dog, they host a weekly podcast, they throw a monthly clean comedy competition, and then they have a kid. Who would do that, Joel? And what some people call freedom is more like being free to be dumb. The free dumb to believe in a flat earth. The free dumb to ride your motorcycle at 100 miles an hour in the rain without a helmet. And the free dumb to go to a Coldplay concert and not expect the kiss cam to find you cheating lovebirds. What were you thinking?
There we go, my friends. There is your top 3 finalists. Sandy Bernstein, Chris Beasley, and Ed Rubin. I'm going to now, in the live chat, put a poll for you to vote live. And remember, the winner is going to get $100 and an interview live. They're going to come on the live stream right now for an interview. So let me just put the poll in. I'll put them in order of appearance. What was it? Chris Beasley and Ed Rubin. Oh, and Sandy said she liked the real women joke. Dan says Joel bashing works. David Gaynor said, nice job, Ed. Yeah, a lot of positive feedback coming in. And now there's voting coming in, my friends. So get your voting in. Get your voting on. Oh, Nan said, great job, Ed. Love it. And while we're voting, if anyone would like to compete in the August Clean Comedy Contest, I will put a link to that in the live chat as well, to where you can sign up for the August contest and maybe win $100 and an interview on Hot Breath here. Very, very exciting. So what we'll do is just really give it a minute here. Voting usually goes pretty fast. Voting will usually go pretty fast, just based on percentages. So right now, we have 31 people watching, and we have 24 votes So get your votes in, 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 get your votes in. What we'll do here, how about 2 minutes? How's that jive for people? Maybe give people 2 more minutes to vote. Looking like, ooh, it's a tight race right now. I wish I could get the poll up on the screen. That would be something cool to do in the future for sure. So about 90 seconds of voting left, my friends. About 90 seconds of voting left. Looks like Ed Rubin is taking a slight lead now at 46%, with Sandy at 42 and Chris at 12. But Sandy just came swinging back. 44% tied with Ed. Ooh, this is a tight one. I believe last month we actually had to do like a tiebreaker vote. Once we picked the top 2, then we had to do another voting round. We'll see if that's the case today. 34 people watching and 28 votes. So if you haven't voted, click, 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 click. Click who your favorite set was. 40 seconds, my friends. 40 seconds. 29 votes. 34 people watching. Some of y'all aren't voting. 37 people watching. Go ahead and hit that vote button. Go ahead and hit that vote button. 20 seconds. Sandy Bernstein at 45%. Ooh, it's getting tight. 15 seconds. 45% to 41% of Ed Rubin. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. It's over. It's over. Sandy Bernstein. Holy cow. That was a tight one. That was a tight one. Holy cow. Sandy Bernstein won by a whopping, it appeared to be 4% there. So definitely one of our tightest yet. So congratulations, Sandy Bernstein. Felicidades, if you will. But what we're gonna do is bring Sandy live on. 3% she won by. It was 44% Sandy, 41% Ed, and 13% Chris with 29 votes. Oh boy. And look, a lot of love coming in. People in the chat. Ed said, congrats, Sandy. Great job, Chris. Scary Barry, congrats, Sandy. Joan Fuchsman says, congrats, Sandy. Well done. Oh, Kelly McConville. Congratulations, Sandy. Look at all the positivity coming in. You love to see it. You love to see the positive love coming in. Look at all this celebration for Sandy. Oh. Yay! So we're actually going to bring Sandy on live. We're going to get her on the live stream live. Now. Today. Now. And let you tell her about her winning set. Oh, that's so sweet. Ed said, thanks everyone, and thanks Joel and your wife. Rough Warren said, congrats, Sandy. Yes. Yes, Ed, thank you. Also, I will be sure to thank my wife as well for the freedom to be out here on a Sunday afternoon. And I appreciate all of y'all for hanging out on this Sunday afternoon as well. I know you all have your lives. I know... Is this music too loud? Yes, I know you all have a very busy life and very busy, important things to do on this Sunday afternoon. So I appreciate you avoiding all of your real world responsibilities and being here with us on this Sunday afternoon. So if you would like to compete in next month's contest, I did put a link in the live chat that is pinned to the top, where you just go to cleancomedycontest.com to save your seat. Basically how it works is you will get the month's theme and 2 weeks to write a brand new 60-second clean set based on that theme. And the best feedback I've been getting about the contest is how even when people don't win, they get new material that is stage ready. So people have been competing in this contest and getting new jokes that they can actually do on stage now. So even if you don't win, you win, which is very exciting. So let's see if we can get Sandy in here to do her interview. Are you there, Sandy? Are you there? Hello? Hello? Sandy Bernstein? Are you there? Hello? 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 Yay! She's here. She's here, everyone. The champ. The champ is here. Let's welcome. Let's get her in here. Sandy.
Hello there.
Yay!
Yay.
We're doing
I thought,
it.
I'm such a boomer. I thought I was in, but I didn't see the join button and that I had to type my name. So now I'm sitting here. Although I did figure out muting myself so you don't hear that. So I'm making some progress.
Hey, every month it gets better and better. But you've done this before. You ain't new to this.
That's true.
You've won this a few times.
But not since you brought it back.
It's true. It is true. Not since it's been clean.
Yes.
It's
It's a coincidence. Remind me to tell you about the original ending that I censored.
What was it?
Well, the last joke, instead of the optometrist, I had, which is weird for my dentist. When I told you to open wide, that's not what I meant. But that's how I'm doing it live.
I could see that version working as well.
Oh, yeah.
How has it been, though? Because honestly, you've been competing in the contest for a while now, so it's always fun. My wife and I love seeing the evolution of people who compete month to month. And you now having the challenge of writing clean for these sets, how has that been? Like, has it been a challenge? Like, because people struggle with writing clean, so to see you excel at it now when you used to not be writing clean, how is it? How have you been able to do this? I mean, I'm sure other comics would love to hear your experience with trying to write clean when you're not normally.
Right. Well, actually, before you brought the contest back, I'm one of the regular hosts at Give a Hoot Comedy Club in Gaithersburg. Shout out to Give a Hoot. It's called that because they give away half their gross profits to different local charities. But so for that, the owner requires that the hosts be clean. So I've been trying to do that for like the past year or so. So, but this gives me more motivation, and it definitely gives me more material because I've been using the stuff that I've done in the contests regularly at the, at the shows that I host. Like, especially like last month's, that's doing really well. The Weight Watchers Pride one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course at the end, I added a dirty tag that I already had. having, which I can or cannot tell you about, but depending on what you want to hear. But anyway, yeah. I've also used the one about, about love and romance. And I had actually written 2 sets for the contest. So I combined the 2. And of course, stuck a dirty joke in there too when I don't have to be clean. Adaptable. And I also have been using the one about the, about kids and money. And that works well. So, yeah. So it's actually to use in my act. So one time I just want to perform all of it, put it in a decent clip and send it to you. So just say, look, I've got all this clean stuff.
Yeah. But it's important to have it because when a booking does come along, you're able to say yes and able to do it. It's very important.
Yeah. I mean, I was supposed to do 25 minutes at a church and that fell through, but at least I know I have what I need.
Yes.
So that's a relief.
That's so exciting. Yeah, and Scaryberry says they love Give a Hoot as well. So very cool.
Yeah, he's a regular there. He's great, a great supporter of the club. And but I have to say, shout out to Ed and to Chris. Those were 2 great sets, and I was really kind of that I won. So kudos to them. Because
it was very tight. I think you won by 3%. 3% voting. So people listening to the podcast, we do the live finale on our YouTube channel. So people vote live and watch the sets. So you can go to our YouTube channel to see the full contest finale. But we have the champ on now, Sandy Bernstein. So with writing the theme of freedom, kind of take us through how you're able to put together a tight 60-second set that is unique to you, because that's always a challenge of this as well, to not be writing jokes that anyone can do, but writing jokes unique to you and your life, and you're able to tap into that every month. So where do you start? The theme is freedom, and how do you start to develop a tight 60-second set just based on the theme?
A good way is to sort of take what's commonly the opposite of freedom, and everybody's like, oh, marriage is the opposite of freedom.
Yeah.
Right. And this is my second marriage, and I happen to feel like it's very freeing compared to my first marriage. And so I just sort of took it from there. I said, okay, what's the opposite of freedom? A lot of people say marriage, but I really, in this case, don't feel that way. So that's kind of how I started it. And, and I, 4th of July, freedom, that's how I thought of the let freedom ring joke, I should have let it go. My biggest challenge was getting to the first joke quickly enough, because I still struggle with it. I don't know if it would have been better just to say a psychologist said and save a few syllables. I've been toying with it both ways. I wasn't sure. So that was my biggest worry about the set, that maybe I didn't get to the first joke quickly enough. So I thought if I don't make the finals or if I don't win, that might be the one flaw in the set. But I needed to set it up. So I couldn't really think of another way to do that. So so that was my biggest challenge right there, just getting the opening and getting to the first joke quickly enough.
That's interesting. You also went opposite first, as I feel like most people would hear the theme of freedom and then automatically go, okay, what is freedom? And then maybe bald eagle or American flag, or thinking in those terms. But you went opposite first, which I think is a really good thought exercise.
Yeah, because I tend to write too much on the nose. So I knew that if I, went that way, that I wouldn't really necessarily come up with anything, strong enough. And another key to this is to run it in front of a live audience, because I was able, before I recorded it, to run it maybe 3 times, because my original closer, had I not run it in front of an audience, didn't work. My original closer was Plenty of Fish, which is fine in and of itself, but I had a tag that I thought was fantastic. But and I had 2 to choose from, but audiences told me otherwise. And so did my friends. time I did it, I kind of forgot and did it out of order, and it ended with the orthopedist joke, and that got a big laugh. And I thought, oh well. So then I did it again, and the tag for the Plenty of Fish joke was, if I want plenty of fish, I'll go to Long John Silver, and if I need an app, I'll order Hush Puppies. And I thought that was hilarious. Nobody in my audience did. So somebody else suggested, if I need a nap, I'll lie down on the couch. Once again, crickets.
Uh-huh.
The thing that I got the biggest laugh was after I tried both of those lines. It happened to be in shows that I was co-producing with my co-producer, comedian Walter Gottlieb. Shout out to him. I was like, I did it. Nobody laughed. And I said, Walter told me that wouldn't work. Damn it. That's the biggest laugh of all.
In your head, as you're doing it on stage, you're like, Walter was right. I knew it. In the back of your brain.
Yeah, I did it. And a lot of times you get the biggest laughs when you're just being totally transparent and vulnerable and honest and saying, oh, he said that wouldn't work. Damn it, he was right.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's really fun, though, to think of trying it on stage, and then no matter how much you believe that it's funny, like at the end of the day, the audience is going to let you know. And if you do it enough, and I'm currently going through that with new jokes I have about having a kid and how I'm complaining about it and all of this, and the audience is taking the baby side on all of my complaints. So I'm now having to reframe it in a way that's more, I'm the punchline instead of the baby. But starting out, working out this material, I was like, oh man, this is my new identity. I'm the guy who hates his kid. Everybody's going to love me. And then they're like, no, we don't like that. We don't like when the youth pastor gets mean about his child. So I'm currently going through that as well, of trying stuff on stage that you think this is it. And then the audience is like, no. Once you do enough shows and the audience, all of them tell you no, then that's when you got to get honest with yourself and be like, oh, I guess I'm going to edit that.
Right. Well, yeah, with the Joy set that I did, some audiences it works really well, and others, no, because, you're attacking kids, and babies.
Yeah.
All you want is money. So I do post clips, like, very small clips of my comedy. And probably I got the biggest reaction from different clips of that set. And a lot of people, preaching the word of God to me, telling me I'm going straight down. A lot of negative reaction. But I'm like, okay, I touched a nerve here.
Yes. Yeah.
Bad. And so, yeah. It's very interesting how people respond. And I would have to say that almost every one of these comedy contest sets, the joke that I thought was the killer or the closer or the opener has never worked. And, unfortunately, it's taken doing it in front of a live audience to prove that to me. If I had done it in vacuum, just basically it wouldn't have gone anywhere. The hot breath of verse would have been, huh?
You literally never know until you do it on stage.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's no way to know. So, So you figured out doing it on stage, what worked and what didn't. So then how did you edit it down to be 60 seconds? And how did you you get a bunch of ideas out and then you have to organize it into a cohesive set?
Yeah. I just basically whatever gets the most laughs, and then I try to pare down the stuff that doesn't, like the tag for the Plenty of Fish that just didn't work. And I'm trying to think, I might have had something else that I thought was great that I threw out because nobody was responding to it. And the audience, running it in front of an audience makes it a lot easier to figure out what to get rid of. Because you're staring at it and you're like, this is all gold. No. When you run it in front of an audience, it's always takes a lot longer because you have to pause for laughs. So even though it would be great to submit something that's filmed in front of a live audience, you're not going to have as many punchlines because you have to pause for the laugh. So when I do this thing live, it's always at least a minute and a half. Well, and when I add the dirty tag, it's a little bit longer.
When you get the dirty in there. Yeah.
Wide. Yeah. Tell me, if I had put that tag on there, would it have disqualified it?
I don't think so. I honestly think that one is enough just innuendo to where the audience has to fill in the dirty part.
Right.
That I don't think that would be considered quote unquote dirty.
Okay.
I think for the contest especially, I think it would have played. I don't think it would have been a red flag or anything like that. And really, I feel like that joke, I'm trying to think outside of maybe like a church or if there's just kids at the event. I feel like overall that would fit into being clean, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, even if there were kids, it would,
It would probably go over their head. Yeah. It's just you never know with a kid if a parent's like, that open wide joke, they're even though their kids are on TikTok hearing way worse. But
yeah, no, I find that the problem when, like you were saying on the podcast last week, nobody wants to come in there to do their set and they're kids. It's like, oh,
yeah.
like, even though I have clean stuff, and I still have that reaction because my stuff is not really geared toward kids, even the clean stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It's not so much the kids or even the parents of the kids. It's the other adults in the room that are like, they're worried about this kid. It's not even their kid. Meanwhile, the parents who brought the kid, they don't care. The kid doesn't care. It's either over their head or, or they're on TikTok anyway.
Yeah. There's no like, I'll get the question a lot about what is the definition of clean. And every show has a different definition. So if you like book a clean show and you're not sure about a joke, like open wide, the best way to know is to ask the booker, would you consider this clean for your quote unquote clean show? And that'll help answer that question because each clean event is different. But if I were booking a clean show and you did that joke, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's too close. No, I think that plays within clean comedy for sure.
Oh, okay. So maybe I'll get it together and head down to Georgia for Sandy Spring. That sounds like an awesome
little Sandy Springs show. Sandy at Sandy Springs there, yeah.
Get myself there, but
and that's a show I say clean-ish. So I do I say PG-13 clean, and this month we don't promote it for kids to come, but there was a kid in the audience, and some comics, like the headliner, cussed several times, and there was never an issue. Like, I think the parents that brought the kid, I think ended up booking the headliner for like some corporate event afterwards. So they were all happy, and there's just something to people coming to a show that isn't like raunchy or just a show where people could refer their friends to it. That's what I'm always trying to do is if I'm doing a show on a consistent basis, how can I make it to where people will tell their friends, tell their other family members to come out, and then they can buy tickets. So that's really something I'm building with the Sandy Springs show specifically is like clean-ish and and you may hear a few words, but nothing divisive or anything that's going to like ruin your night, which some comedy, like, you're in public saying this, right? It's
yeah, like really, that's true. And I know that even where I host it's kind of challenging because a lot of times the audience wants you to be dirty. They want you to cuss.
Yeah.
The club's there, so it's a fine line. You don't want to you don't want to piss people off, but at the same time you want to give the audience what they want. And there's and he's flexible too. I mean, he's like, that's fine, I don't mind a cuss word, I don't even mind an F-bomb, as long as you're not talking about the act and describing the act.
Yeah.
No, but my comedy has definitely gotten a lot cleaner over the years. And I've even had people that I've known, for a long time who've seen me say, oh yeah, you're a lot cleaner than you were. Of course, I have a lot of people that say, you are the dirtiest clean comic I know. And then
that's great.
Say, you are the cleanest dirty comic I know. But I have to say that one of the main takeaways that I got, because I did take your clean comedy workshop, plug for that.
Yes. Linked in the show notes, yes.
Yes, one of the main takeaways was if you're not sure, ask the promoter. So I
Yep.
had done that, and it's so funny because the majority of the time they're like, I don't know, feel the audience out. So it's like, okay, all right. But
No.
so sometimes they'll definitely say, I'll run a joke and they'll be like, or they'll be like, oh, I don't know, try it and see. And I'm like, yeah, after the fact, I don't want you to be. Some people say if you have to ask, don't do it. But the other times I question myself too much. So, but it's good to have a reserve of like safer material.
For sure. Yeah, and a booker is never going to be disappointed you asked if a joke is appropriate for their show or not. They'd appreciate you putting in that extra effort to make sure you're putting the best foot forward to do your best set possible for their event. So definitely, if you're not sure, ask the promoter for sure. And that's interesting to hear at Give a Hoot how they want you to be clean, but it's also like a flexible clean. And most people when they think clean, they're not thinking like squeaky clean, you're doing Sesame Street. Like they're thinking more like a PG-13, a few cuss words here and there, just nothing graphic or explicit. But what I've found is most definitions of clean are a lot looser than people think. Oh, if it's clean, it has to be this one super squeaky way or nothing at all. But there's a spectrum to it, I would say. Yeah, it's a lot more flexible than I think people realize when they tell themselves they can't be clean or they can't write clean. I just don't believe that. I think anyone can do it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when you're starting out, it's easier to get a laugh from shock value. And I mean, look at me, I'm like, this older lady, people think, oh, librarian or gender studies professor or whatever. Yeah. So a lot of times, I was getting big laughs because they were not expecting what was coming out of my mouth.
Yep.
Which is fine, but that can't take you through more than like a 5 or 10 minute set. After a while, you got to, and now that I'm doing longer sets, you have to have, more behind it than just shock value.
When you were starting to write cleaner, how did you break those dirty comedy habits? Or how was it you still wrote dirty but just didn't stop there? How'd you start to kind of develop that muscle of clean comedy?
Yeah, a little bit of that. And I know they say, don't stifle your creativity. But, sometimes I have an idea and I'm like, I really shouldn't put my time and energy into this because it's just at its heart, it's dirty. That's the whole crux of the joke. So let me just go on to something else. And I mean, if I do want to write it, there are places where I can do it. But I try to direct my energy to things that are, a little bit more versatile, let's say.
Yeah. So as we land this plane, is there any closing advice for any listeners out there of maybe that want to write clean or just what you've learned? Because you're producing your own shows. You're doing longer and longer sets now, booking bigger and bigger gigs. So you're someone out here hustling, putting in the work, putting in the reps, and seeing that incremental build, which is, most of people that do comedy, it is an incremental grind over time to where you do see these big breakthroughs and you're like, oh, the work was worth it. So it's an exciting time is what I'm saying for where you are in your career. So, I mean, any closing advice or anything you've been learning out there, Sandy?
Well, do the contest, because if you have a deadline and a goal, now, having said that, I probably won't do August because I'm going to be away and I won't be able to test what I write.
Of course. Yeah.
Be in that mindset. But no, do stuff like that. Things that give you a deadline. Also, like I do like sort of like a little Zoom feedback group with a couple of other comedians every week. And, that's like, oh yeah, I got to have something new for that. And they also help me, run these sets too, although I didn't get a chance to run it in front of them this time around. But so that helps. So just doing things where you kind of have a deadline and a theme and a little bit of a structure. I do Write 10 Club every day. Mm-hmm. So the vast majority of those jokes never make it on stage, but every now and then they do. And sometimes they spark other ideas, but if nothing else, it keeps that muscle working.
Yeah.
So I would just say to try to do things that force you to write and make you be accountable for things. And a joke contest is is a good way to do it. And also, just having a deadline and knowing, okay, well, I got to have something new for these people to go over every week. And
Exactly.
that helps too. And, just to look back at some of your old stuff that may be dirty. Well, okay, maybe there's a kernel of an idea there that you could take in a different direction. And, because we all have all this stuff and we forget about it, because I put it away, oh, that's dirty. But I need to do this more, is just to go back and say, okay, well, now there's a good idea. I can sort of go off in this direction and not stay, in the weeds here, or the gutter, I should say.
Yeah. Well, congratulations again, Sandy. Where would you like people to follow you or keep up with you or connect with you? Maybe have other questions, or just want to say they heard you on here and enjoyed it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I am on social media. I am on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at Sandy Bernstein Comedy.
Nice.
So that's the place. I also have a website, sandybernsteincomedy.com, that lists all of my upcoming shows. Like, for instance, tonight I'm going to be at Give a Hoot, and I don't know if you're familiar with Tony Woods. He's on my shirt here.
Oh, yeah. OG.
Yeah, he's an OG. And listen, if you ever want to interview him, I'm your plug here.
You're the plug? Sandy's the plug out here.
Yeah, so he's doing a show at Give a Hoot. So, I usually show up, and there's a pretty good chance he'll put me up, because I also help him with the list and stuff like that. And he's a good guy. So he gave me this shirt when I did Tony Woods and Friends at DC Improv. That's like the only way I could ever get on the improv stage. It's another deal.
Awesome.
Anyway, yeah. So I told my husband, I said, look, Tony Woods is on my boob. And he's like, good for you. Like, yeah, whatever. He's like, like I said, the second marriage is liberating. So
yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah.
So I'm going to be there tonight, and I'm there pretty much every Wednesday doing the open mic. I hosted a lot of weeks. I'm going to be the host for the weekend of August 22nd and 23rd. And I'm headlining in September at a show in Havre de Grace, Maryland, Battery Island. And so all those links are on my website. And I try to plug stuff on my social media as well, but the best place to find everything is on the website, in case I forget to plug stuff. And, Walter and I are producing another show at Beer Bath in Sykesville, Maryland on October 4th. And do an open mic the second Tuesday of the month at Home Slice Pizza. We call it The Slice is Right. The next one is the second Tuesday in September, because I'll be away in August. And so if you're in the area and you'd like to do that mic or go to that mic, just reach out to me and I can get you on the list. So when it comes up, you can sign up. So
that's like the DMV area, right? Is that how you would describe it? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm located in Silver Spring, Maryland, Spencerville specifically, which is between Baltimore and DC. So I do a lot of stuff in that area, in that general region. So
awesome. Yeah. Well, Sandy's the plug, y'all. If y'all looking for shows in that area, or just want to connect with a motivated comic out here creating their own success, Sandy is definitely the one to reach out to. So Sandy, congratulations. I mean, my wife would be thrilled to hear you won the clean version of the contest now.
Who'd have thought? Now,
but that's part of why we did it. Challenge comics.
I don't think I've ever disqualified myself for being dirty for this one, because I've been extra clean. But it's just a matter of getting the right jokes together and stuff like that. And I wanted to thank you for all that you do. I first hooked up with Hot Breath during the pandemic. It was positive that came out of it, and I would not be anywhere near where I am today if not for that, and for the network that I've plugged into. And so I thank you for that, because it's just really made all the difference in my comedy career. So everybody who will listen, I tell them, join Hot Breath, get on that writing group and, follow it, listen to the podcast, and, great interviews, that really, the one you just did with Caitlin Palufo, great interview. People check
Mm,
it out, and with Derek Stroop and
yeah,
the
thank you.
podcast. Everybody, tune in, tune in.
Yep, those are on the Patreon for those of you members of the Patreon. I did post a couple bonus interviews over there, so
Yeah, yeah,
thank you
that's
for that as well, Sandy. Yes, keeping the Hot
definitely,
Breathaverse alive out here.
that's right. Definitely worth it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you've been an OG and a big part of the community and what it has grown into,
Hmm.
So just as much gratitude as you're sharing, I share the same back to you because it really is a group effort and a community effort and a lot of intentional work to keep everything positive and supportive. So I
Yeah.
also thank you for being such a pivotal reason why the community is what it is and how helpful it is for comics around the world. So I also would like to say thank to you, Sandy.
Oh well, you're
Yeah.
welcome. It's the least I could do.
Well, thank you all for hanging out on the live stream. And of course, Sandy, congrats again. And people listening, go keep up with Sandy Bernstein Comedy on all social media, which is a good lesson for any comics out there, making sure everything you have is branded the exact same and not making your Instagram one name and then your website another and then your TikTok another. Make it easy for people to find you. So
Yeah.
everything it has is Sandy Bernstein Comedy.
Yeah, I mean, like Twitter, I was Sandy B Comedy, and I might throw stuff up there, but I really don't monitor it, now
Yeah.
that it. And the other thing is to keep entering the contest. The first time around, I must have entered like 7 or 8 times before I even made the finals, and sort
Mhm.
of this time, I guess I've entered a bunch of times, and I made the finals a few times, but other times I didn't. It's just keep doing it. Don't get discouraged and say, "Oh, I'm never going to win." Yeah, even if you don't win, at least you're writing and you're coming up with something. So
Exactly. Well, there you have it, Hot Breathaverse. Your July champ, Sandy Bernstein. Go connect with her on social media and join next month's contest at cleancomedycontest.com. Thank you again, Sandy, and congrats.
well, thank you so much, Joel.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye. All right. There you go, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out on this live stream. Go join next month's contest if you'd like to go ahead and save your spot. It will start in August, but I will link that in the live chat here, cleancomedycontest.com. And also my Clean Comedy Workshop, I linked in the live chat as well if anyone would like to take that. That's a video workshop you can watch and learn from at your own time as well. I'll link in the live chat. But you guys have all been awesome. We did run the light a little bit. It's 1:05. Oh my gosh. But we got so excited to have Sandy in here. So go forth with your Sundays, my friends. And we will see y'all next month. I love you all. Bye, y'all.